Hurry, and it's a critical mistake for the Wisconsin club, because I don't think they're going to get him back the rest of this half.
There's the big fella who's averaging 17 points and 11 rebounds per game, and shooting or lack thereof is also a factor in this game. That miss makes Wisconsin 2 out of 16. Penn State is 4 out of 13 from the floor so far. Nittany Lions on the road. They're 11-3, 3-2 in the Big Ten. Wisconsin 8-6, and they have a Big Ten record of 2-3. There's Bartram on the left wing, out on top for the point guard, Dan Earl. Things have been a lot different in the middle since Rashard Griffith left this game. Shot clock is at 7. Earl being watched by Andy Kilbride. And a long three goes down for the Nittany Lions. That's 7 for him. 14-5. We're on here in Madison, and we'll wait for you guys to get things wrapped up down in Texas.
Okay, Bob, thanks very much. Timeout called by DePaul, so just in case you just switched us on, 1:32 left in the second overtime, and it's Texas leading by a couple. No points. By the way, 18-game home winning streak for the Texas Longhorns has been on the line, both regulation, first overtime, and now here again in the second. DePaul has not scored from the field in the second overtime. Everything has come at the free throw line. Anderson now with 28 points. Rod had 10 at halftime, so what a second half for him. Gets it. That's his 29th point, and it ties his season high at 29 against Washington State. Four-point Texas lead. Smith. They leave him open in the corner. That's a three-point shot.
Peter Patton had not taken a shot, squeezed one off in a long time.
He's got 15 points, his first points of the second half.
He's got to stay aggressive because the double team's going to come to Kleinschmidt once he puts the ball on the floor. Texas is going to come from both sides and try to take the dribble and the ball away from him.
Well, those two guards for Texas. Penders takes the three. He's off the mark and taken away by Winkfield, and he scores. Boy, how big is that one?
Kleinschmidt yanking at the referee. Thought one of the Texas players had gone over his back.
Cole will take at the distance, and Tremaine Winkfield with the block. Rensher and Anderson in the second half have really taken over. As Anderson had 10 at halftime, he has 29 now, and Rensher had only 5 at halftime. He has 19 points.
Senior backcourt, the confidence that if you miss a lot of shots early, you can still keep doing it.
Winkfield threw a shoe, lost it, and he kicked it out of the paint. The long three-pointer on the way, not good, and Anderson breaks away, and he's fouled by Kleinschmidt with 18.1 seconds left.
Been an interesting story. What did not start out as looking very pretty for Texas looks like it will have a finish that they will enjoy. They struggled in the first half, down by 9.
You know, Anderson under the pressure as a timeout has just been called. So let's take a break with them. 95-92 Texas.
When you're the eyes and ears of a million people, you can't let your stomach get in the way. So I carry Snickers.
Roasted peanuts, milk chocolate, caramel. Snickers satisfies.
Everyone has a right to be heard, and this man has a lot to say.
You don't have a problem with him, like, stealing shoes out of locker rooms?
Ah, that's petty stuff. No felonious assaults. No big deal. Let the man speak. Yeah, he deserves a right. I mean, this is America. This is the land of the free, home of the brave. Let the man talk.
first time ever, the car that changed everything is having a sale on many of its most popular options. And that can save you a lot of change during the Dodge Intrepid Equipment Sale.
Now welcome back to the Frank Irwin Special Events Center on the campus of the University of Texas. This is a second overtime, and with 18.1 seconds left, it is Texas on top, 95-92. Anderson will go to the line. You talk about stepping up when the pressure was on. Anderson only 1 of 5 from the free throw line, Paul, during the game. He's 4 of 4 during the overtime periods.
You can see the flow of this game. Joey Myers, with just a few seconds left, under 45, thought he'd had the game won. Celebration on the DePaul side, and now it's Tom Penders who is enjoying the last few seconds of this basketball game so far.
Nothing's been easy for this club of late. Penn State's now jumped out by 7 points over Wisconsin. They're heading there in 18.1 seconds. Anderson during the overtime periods has been dead-eye. He's got 31 points, new season high for him. Cole for the three-pointer, off the mark. Rencher with the rebound, and this ought to do it. To Wingfield, misses, and the follow. Horn sounds, and this one is final in double overtime. Texas 99-92 for Paul Sunderland. Ron Franklin saying so long for Boston. Let's head to Madison, Wisconsin. Bob Carpenter and Larry Conway.
Ron Franklin, thank you very much. And it's all Penn State at the moment. But something changed about this game a couple of minutes ago when Rashard Griffith came back in after sitting out early with those 2 fouls. He's got about 5 points off the bench in the last couple of minutes. And we're trying to get Larry Conway hooked up here, because just as we got it here, John Amaechi crashed into our table, and Larry's trying to get himself hooked up. So we'll check things out here. It's a one-man show, but just for the moment, hopefully. Michael Finley has just scored a moment ago for Wisconsin. And here comes the big fella. That's actually Big House Phil Williams into our table. Took about half the gear with him. So we'll clean things up a bit to keep it safe for the players along the sideline. And we had 6'8", 265 coming at us. And now Larry and I know firsthand why they call him Big House. I think you're back on, partner. Waiting to inbound the basketball underneath. Michael Finley of Wisconsin. Teams off to cold shooting starts, but they've been heating it up the last couple of minutes. 8.5 minutes to go, and it's 19-12. Wisconsin trailing with the basketball.
Hi, Bob.
Welcome back. And there's a 3 by Andy Kilbride. And Larry, I think the folks joined us just in time, because both teams are starting to heat things up from the field.
Yeah, they didn't miss a whole lot while they were gone. They saw a great game down in Austin between Texas and DePaul. Neither club shooting the ball well early. In fact, we just got run over.
You took the charge nicely, my friend.
I did, but I didn't get a shoot.
Adolph Rupp would have been proud of you. There's Earl, 10 points off the floor so far for the Nittany Lions. His pass to Bartram, and then the miss. And here's Michael Finley, one of the great forwards in America. Amaechi blocked him, but he was fouled by Dan Earl before that took place.
Bob, it's amazing the transition this Wisconsin club has made since Griffith came back in the game. He had those 2 early fouls, and of course Stan Van Gundy had to put him on the bench. He comes back in the game, and Wisconsin are a little resurgence. They're now back within 4.
They've only shot 6 out of 20 so far, 0 for their first 7 from 3-point range before Kilbride knocked one down a moment ago. And Michael Finley, the all-time leading Wisconsin scorer, is at the line.
By the way, I didn't get the plate of that truck that went by. Who was it anyway?
I don't know, but it said Big House on it. Finley with 4 points. He's averaging 22. Many consider him and future NBA lottery pick. Timeout on the floor. Dan Earl's been a big man for the Nittany Lions so far. Their lead on the road, though, at this crazy UW Fieldhouse is down to 2.
Pros wear Russell Athletic because it's made tough. It has to be.
Hey, kid! Hey, you got my lucky jersey.
Yeah?
Can I have it back?
You gotta be kidding.
You little pipsqueak.
No!
You want athletic wear that can survive anything? Get Russell Athletic. Get tough.
Bethlehem Sporting Goods, your Russell Athletic store in the Lehigh Valley.
A good physique is very important to me. My job is basically all about resistance. Come on, pick it up. Fortunately, that's something I didn't have to deal with when I purchased my new Saturn.
It was easy to buy, and it's a blast to drive.
2001, 2002, 2003.
Get it!
Isn't it just like Delta?
Let's make it really cool.
To design a faucet that's at both the height of style
Awesome!
and practicality. Delta, the way water is brought to life.
Wisconsin's Rashard Griffith, Penn State's John Amaechi are the consummate big men of the Big Ten, and some pretty tough duels early.
Well, we expected the clash of the Titans between these two guys. Really the two true centers in the Big Ten. They're first and second in both rebounding and blocked shots. And both of these guys are going to be very draftable in the NBA draft. Amaechi eligible this year. Some discussion about Griffith possibly coming out. I'd like to see him stay around and play a few more years of college basketball. A lot of people are going to be after him, though.
Stan Van Gundy hoping he stays around. If he leaves and Michael Finley graduates, the Badgers are very, very young next year.
Amaechi handling the press.
Gets it off for Damien McKnight, who just checked in.
Wisconsin a little more athletic. The pressure has caused some problems for Penn State. They got a number of turnovers early.
Amaechi can see over the trap. Big house on the left wing for Sekunda, the former Orangemen from Syracuse, and that 3 gives him 5 for the night. He played 2 years for Jim Boeheim, sat out last year, visited Florida, but because of the Big Ten factor, ended up at Penn State.
Good double down that time on Griffiths. He almost threw it away.
Big house rolling on Hoskins. He somehow got the pass to Griffith. He can't force it down. Underneath. Osita Nwachukwu couldn't knock it down either, but the Badgers will keep it.
Nice block by Amaechi underneath. Glad to see Griffith back in the lineup because I've been really looking forward this week to seeing these two big centers play each other. They both are about 270 pounds. One likes his deep dish pizza. The other's a fish and chips guy.
Chicago and Manchester, England. Amaechi was actually born in Boston, raised in England. Very articulate, great student. Finley back in. He's only 1 of 6 from the floor so far.
Has that wonderful British accent, too.
Right toe. And Sekunda with the rebound.
Penn State got off to a good start simply because Wisconsin could not buy a basket.
They're a motion team offensively. Amaechi and Sekunda are their offensive keys.
Look at McKnight, quick,
right around everybody. Damien McKnight, a freshman out of Edison High School in Miami.
Darnell Hoskins not only got beat defensively, but he just had a turnover, and Penn State will get the ball back, and they build up a 7-point lead.
It's been a first half of runs. There's Stan Van Gundy in his first year here, taking over for Stu Jackson. This team had a 7-0 run a few minutes ago. Earlier, Penn State had a 10-0 run over a span of 4 minutes and 10 seconds. A great look. That was McKnight to Amaechi, and John has 7.
Well, but once again, the penetration on the inside. Terrific job in there. As long as McKnight gets in that deep, the defense came and got him that time, and he delivered a nice pass. So a basket and a good pass.
Griffith put the ball on the floor. That's why he lost it.
No, go out of bounds.
And it'll be Wisconsin keeping it.
Watch the move down inside. Damien McKnight with a nice pass to Amaechi. It's the second time he's penetrated deep down inside against this Wisconsin defense, and Darnell Hoskins has been left standing at the top of the circle.
There's Dan Earl. Now, he's the starting point guard, but Damien McKnight's a lot different when he comes in. When he comes into the game, you'll see a lot more driving and dishing. Finley out of control, got his own rebound. The jump hook won't go. And Glenn Sekunda is there. And Michael Finley's forcing things, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And I was getting ready to say he really is trying to do too much for this club. He needs to let the game come a little bit more to him. He is 1 for 8.
That was the big criticism of him early in the season. He was only shooting in the low 30s percentage-wise because he was trying to make too many things happen. There's Pete Lisicky, the outstanding Penn State freshman out of Whitehall, PA, with his second foul.
Bob, I really think that's a natural reaction to Michael Finley. He's a guy who has a great deal of pride. He wants to go out in his senior year and make sure this club is good. He's had a very successful career. He's Wisconsin's leading scorer, but you just got to let the game come to you.
Half dozen pro scouts tonight checking him out here in Madison. But the pro scouts liked his defense.
Excuse me, Bob. I was going to say he also needs some help from some other players out there. Good double down that time on Griffith.
Little two-man game, Kilbride and Griffith. And a foul on John Amaechi. That will be his first.
In a game last year at Penn State, Griffith really schooled Amaechi. Held him to 4 points and 2 rebounds, and Wisconsin ran away from the Nittany Lions at home. There's Bruce Parkhill, the coach here at Penn State. Terrific basketball coach in his 12th year for the Nittany Lions.
A State College native. His father played at Penn State. He hung around Rec Hall as a youngster. Looking forward to their new building, Bryce Jordan Center. 15,000 seats will open sometime next year.
I understand it's been delayed now until February.
And Bruce talked about that today. He said if that place doesn't open until February, we're not sure we want to open up with people like Indiana and Michigan and Purdue coming in there.
Hey, they got a nice little familiar place up there in Rec Hall. It's small, intimate, and very hostile.
He says we may want to wait for a while. Now Griffith will check out. He's got 7 points, 2 fouls. The crowd favorite Howard Moore has checked in for the Badgers.
Once again, Wisconsin with that full court pressure. Penn State has struggled with this in the first half.
And when number 34 is in there, that's when Wisconsin can really press. Down they go to Williams, and he was fouled by Osita Nwachukwu.
Well, it's just an observation the way Penn State is handling that pressure now. Now that they've got McKnight in the lineup, Dan Earl is not able to do anything. But once the ball gets into McKnight's hands, watch what happens. Good things, good decisions, good passes. Got the ball inside, and Williams got up and got fouled.
Bill Williams, 6'8", 265, just a sophomore out of Frederick, Maryland. Normally a 70% free throw shooter, doesn't get to the line that much. And a footnote on that foul. Actually, Griffith, who's playing with 2, has to come in now because Nwachukwu, the junior out of Nigeria, has 3 fouls in just a few minutes of playing time. So he has to take a seat.
The town that Nwachukwu is from in Nigeria has more hyphens in it than any name I have ever seen.
I'll tell you one thing, it can win a game of Scrabble for you. Biggest lead now, 10 for the Nittany Lions as we move under the 5-minute mark in the first half.
Kilbride now running the club out front.
Michael Finley on the wing with dribble penetration.
Nice move.
Then he hangs and he rolls it home.
They got by Sekunda, a nice inside move, and once again the Badgers are back with that pressure, and watch McKnight get the ball in front court.
The Williams guys teaming up there, but Donovan from Phil couldn't finish. Kilbride for Finley. Thought about the 3. Dumps in to Griffith. Forget it. That will be number 2 on John Amaechi.
Bob, a couple of things happened on this play right here. It was Finley that delivered the pass, but watch Griffith go up strong. Amaechi cannot allow that ball to come that deep on the block. Was Griffith upset? He says, I had a 3-point opportunity. I let it go by the board.
15 points, 13 rebounds in Big Ten play so far. Way off with the free throw, 60% shooter. Last year, in the first meeting between these two teams, Griffith, the first time down the floor, got a slam right over Amaechi. In the 2 games these two teams played against each other last year, John was never the same after that opening shot. Michael Joseph is checked in for him.
Amaechi now sitting on the bench. He'll have a chance to watch Griffith operate a little bit.
And a three-point play possibility turns into nothing. And there's the steal in the backcourt by Howard Moore. We talked about his defense on the press. He got a steal that time, pressing as a solo. Finley working off the pick.
Nice help by Joseph that time. Good double down by Sekunda.
Kilbride in the corner for Darnell Hoskins, who's been shooting well lately. But so has Andy. And that's 2 threes for the 6'3 senior out of Kankakee.
Nice movement that time by the Badgers. Pressure not as deep this time by Wisconsin. Are they going to turn it over again? Yes, they are.
Hoskins down to Finley. And a foul!
That got the crowd up. The steal, the pass, Hoskins to Finley, the dunk, and the foul on the other end. He'll have a chance for a 3-point play. If anybody's going to bring this Wisconsin club back, a team that has lost 5 of their last 7, it's going to be this guy, Michael Finley.
Off to a slow start, but now a chance for double figures with this free throw. He's on a pace to become the #6 scorer all time in the Big Ten Conference. Now that is some lofty company. He's got 10. Wisconsin shaves a 10-point lead to 2 in a hurry.
This year, thousands of people will invest in the promise of new technology, the promise of an integrated safety system to help guard against the unexpected. A sound chamber capable of lowering noise levels by 30 decibels, plus a built-in operation sensoring system to improve performance. The 1995 Toyota Corolla, recognized for over 25 years of progress as the benchmark of quality and the place where promises are kept.
Leave it to Delta to design a stylish and practical faucet that works with you in perfect harmony. No matter what the situation.
Oh, honey.
Party?
Honey, though, I think I got this. Listen.
Delta, the way water is brought to life.
There's something happening here. What it is exactly clear. I think it's time to stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Get out of the old and get into the cold.
A big ACC doubleheader Saturday on ESPN. Carolina looked great last night, didn't they? They're tied with Maryland atop the ACC, and now they travel to Winston-Salem to take on Dave Odom's Demon Deacons. And then, as the Tigers of Clemson at Reynolds Coliseum against the Wolfpack, ACC Saturday on ESPN.
Now back to Michael Finley, and watch the operation here. Nice move to the inside. He got by Sekunda. That's just smart, intelligent basketball. You get inside your defender, hang a little bit, get one up, and let it roll in.
And later, the slam and the three-point play. They're on another run, Larry, 8-0 after their 7-0 run earlier, and it's a 2-point game again. Just about 2 minutes ago, Penn State led 27-17. On top, they go to Williams.
Amaechi out of the lineup now.
Gambling and almost getting the steal. The deflection for Darnell Hoskins.
Earl was the hot player for Penn State early. Back in the lineup right now. I might go look at him again.
It took just over a minute and a half for that 8-0 run. On the perimeter. Tough defense. Donovan Williams had to hustle to keep it.
He almost lost the basketball. He's lucky to come up with it. Hoskins all over him out front. And Griffith wants it inside. He's got Joseph. He feels like he can pin this guy. Griffith is so strong, so physical in there. He wants to be a part of that offense. He told everybody that last year at the end of the year.
Way out there, a 3 for Finley. He has 13.
Boy, he gets him in a hurry, doesn't he?
He is something. A true scorer. He can drive the baseline, couple of dribbles, pull up, or take it right to the hole. And that time we saw his outside range. He'll have to be a guard in the NBA, though, at 6'6".
He can handle that.
Earl. And good anticipation by Howard Moore on a pass that was telegraphed a bit. The deflection underneath, and that got it back for Penn State. It was Glenn Sekunda getting a hand on it.
Both clubs pretty alert on defense inside.
Heading down for the 2-minute mark in a tight ball game. Low scoring. And he dumps it off to the right wing, and from the baseline, Donovan Williams with his second consecutive field goal.
You know, Earl gives them a lot of stability at that point guard. Even though he's a sophomore, the guy can really handle the basketball. Everybody looks for it when he dives into that lane. Good passer and a good shooter.
Not as flashy as Damien McKnight, but he did tie a Penn State freshman record last year with 113 assists. And Andy Kilbride is on fire. That's 3 trays for him. And the game is tied.
He ranks 10th in the Big Ten in three-point field goal percentage. That's going to help his numbers.
He's now hit 12 of his last 23. Carl Ravitch is in the studio tonight with the Delta Faucet halftime report. Highlights from the Pac-10 coming up. A tight one in Columbia, where the Buffs really gave Missouri all they wanted tonight. And Digger's in the studio with Carl. He'll analyze it all for you. That's coming up at halftime. We're a minute 15 away. And a block by Finley. There's the defense.
Finley plays so well on both ends. That's why I think he's a candidate for Player of the Year.
The entry pass to Griffith, the turnaround well off. And taking charge, Michael Joseph, a 6'10 senior for the Nittany Lions. Tie game in the final minute.
Trying to get open against Finley. Finley is all over him, right at the free throw line. Sekunda just backs out.
There's Sekunda on the wing. That shot was deflected, and that's Michael Finley again. A block last time, and a deflection this time.
Bob, he cannot shake Michael Finley. Sekunda has tried to maneuver himself to get open. Michael Finley is sticking to him like glue.
13 on the shot clock. 42.2 on the game clock. Earl looking for Sekunda off a pick. There's the 3.
There it is. There it is.
He is a sweet shooter.
He worked off a screen that time, and Finley got hung up, and Sekunda popped out and got that 3. He and Amaechi are the 2 leading scorers for this Penn State club. Both of them coming into this game averaging 16.
Sekunda with 8, so he's halfway there. Shot clock is off, and the Badgers down by 3 will play for the last shot. Interesting, because Wisconsin usually wins when they're ahead at the half. They've got no chance for that here unless they get a 4-point play. They've won 25 in a row when they've led at the half. Finley way out there. That was about a 25-foot shot, and Penn State will lead by 3 at the half. Finley talking it over with his coach, Stan Van Gundy, who does not appear pleased with the shot selection there at the end. So it's Penn State by 3 at the half. Carl and Digger off to a slow offensive start here, but we saw the explosiveness of Michael Finley.
Thanks very much, Bobby. We saw explosiveness all night. We'll get to the highlights in a little while. Tell us about this game.
Well, I thought Stan Van Gundy, first-year coach for Wisconsin, made a great move when he brings in Rashard Griffith with 2 fouls, and that allowed that spurt. So Finley turns it on and got Amaechi in foul trouble, and that's been the turnaround in the first half for the Badgers.
All right, coming up in the Delta Faucet halftime report, some tremendous action all across the country, plus Arizona, Damon Stoudemire. Usually he lets his on-court activities do the talking. He had a few things to say about his trip to Oregon. Stay with us.
ESPN's NCAA basketball, brought to you by Bud Bowl 7. This year it's going to be a whole new ball game. And by the new Toyota T100 Extra Cab. More room, more power. It's the Toyota of big trucks.
Introducing the Toyota T100 Extra Cab. Its new 190 horsepower V6 actually outperforms V8s. It's big and spacious, yet amazingly maneuverable. And it's extremely rugged, yet incredibly refined. The new T100 Extra Cab. It's the Toyota of big trucks.
Want to be well on their way to a leak?
If you have rust in your water, you could end up with clogged pipes, which could lead to bigger problems. Don't wait for rust to strike. Use Diamond Crystal Red Out, the water softener salt pellets that remove rust from your water. Red Out pellets from Diamond Crystal, because a little rust can do a lot of damage.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Delta Faucet Halftime Report. Carl Ravitch and Digger Phelps. It's a three-point game between Penn State and Wisconsin, but boy, we had some very close games throughout the night, including a double overtime game. We're going to start with Colorado and Missouri. Super game in the Big 8. You don't get 80 seconds to shoot. You actually have to take out the cards and tell them what's left. Digger?
Donnie Boyce really played well tonight. Keep the Buffs right in that game. They hung tough against Mizzou the whole night.
He had 20, Buffs by 10. Scott Combs baseline drive. Tigers now up 160-160. They're up 5 late. Mack Tuck for 3, off the iron, down the hole. Buffalo's within 2. Tuck had 17. Tigers begin to pull away. More the slam on the break. Colorado has now lost 24 straight at Missouri, 85-80 the final in this one. Paul O'Linney missed his first 5 free throws, then he hit 13 in a row. He ends up with 23, Boyce 20 and 5. Virginia Tech and Louisville, also a great one. Early first half, Samaki Walker grabs the loose ball. Look at DeJuan Weeks. Control the ball to Alvin Sims. Louisville up early. Then Louisville goes on the break. Tick Rogers. Louisville up 34-26 at the half. Second half, Louisville now up 2. Damon Watlington, the drive, the hoop, we're even at 60. Tech down 1. Sean Smith, pretty spin move. Past Brian Kaiser, Tech up 1.
Yeah, but then Jason Osborne, big 3 tonight, gives Louisville that big edge, up by 2. Turn around for the Cards.
70-68, David Jackson. It's 74-72. Coach Foster, what do you do? Tech makes a quick TO. They're down 4. Time runs down. Jackson for 3. It's off. And Louisville, in a struggle, wins this one 78-74, the final score in that one. Tick Rogers with 23, Smith with 19. It's a huge win for Louisville.
Big win for Louisville. One reason why now, if they can beat UCLA at home or take Mass up in Worcester for a big win, get in the conference championship, they still have a chance to get in the NCAA tournament.
Big win. Cincinnati and Dayton out of the Great Midwest. Cincinnati all over them, 81-60. This game never really in doubt. Long had 19. Cincinnati unbeaten in the Great Midwestern. They are 5-0. To the west we go. Damon Stoudemire. He's a Portland native. On going back to Portland to face Oregon and Oregon State, he said this: "We're not going home to lose, not with me. I know that for a fact." So Stoudemire promising to win. The fact is he's been right. In all 6 trips that he's made in his college career back home to Oregon, he's ended up a winner. Damon, you've got to back up those words. He does with a long 1, 2, 3, and it falls. Damon Stoudemire has led Arizona out to a lead. Oregon now coming back, and that is Madden. The alley-oop can't go. Rebound back up and in. Arizona getting outboarded on that play. The score now, and it's early. Oregon up to 17-15. But look at Stoudemire. He makes the comments. He has 10 points already. 10 of Arizona's 15. Also going on out west, the number 24 team in the land, New Mexico State, trailing San Jose State by 7, 39-32 in this one. And Digger? Damon Stoudemire makes guarantees. Any of your fellas ever?
If I'm Ludosa, I get really upset because Oregon's a team that beat UCLA at home, and that's their only loss. So big conference game tonight. The Ducks aren't going to. As a coach, I am really upset. My players, Oregon's got all over the locker room. and the ducks aren't going to quack. They're going to come out and just go after it.
You guys make some guarantees?
Yeah, we had some guarantees. I guaranteed a loss at Lafayette. I guaranteed a loss at Valparaiso. I was good at that stuff.
At least they delivered.
Yeah, they came through.
Coming up, we'll deliver a super game. No guarantee either in this one. Texas and DePaul, they played a game. They played an overtime. They went to a second overtime. Stay with us.
This halftime report is presented by the Delta Faucet Company. Delta, the way water is brought to life.
Time to wash up.
Isn't it just like Delta to design a stylish faucet that's practical too?
Give me that.
So it's long enough to reach today's double and even triple sinks. Delta, the way water is brought to life.
Need a towel?
Whoa! What's that?
Pontiac GTO.
Yeah. And that one?
69 Firebird.
You're getting good at this.
Hey, Dad, there's a Grand Am coupe. I bet it's got a 5-speed and 150 horsepower, like our sedan.
Are you a Pontiac man or what?
Yeah, and I'm gonna drop a Grand Am.
Really? Which one?
A fast one.
That's my boy. Of course, I have to talk to your mom about this.
I'll talk to her.
Look, a MasterCard won't make you different or unique, okay? Actually, maybe it will. I mean, millions of people use MasterCard, but yours is meant for you and you alone. So if someone steals it, instead of worrying about people running around pretending to be you, call right away and cancel it. Because, after all, there's only one you. What's more, even if somebody does manage to charge stuff to you, you won't pay a cent. And we may even be able to get you a new card the next day. But just for you. Now, how's that for a useful card? MasterCard, it's more than a credit card, it's smart money.
Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. Almond joys got nuts. Mounds don't, because sometimes you feel like a... Sometimes...
What would Holiday Inn be like if business travelers could still get the same great service, but for less money? Actually, it would be just like Ramada.
Back on the Delta Faucet halftime report, checking some other scores for you. The Tulane Green Wave, 85-73 over Sacramento State. UNC Charlotte on top of the conference over Virginia Commonwealth by a score of 73-47 now, 4-0 UNC Charlotte. Well, our first game, DePaul and Texas in this one. They didn't play one game. They didn't play one overtime. They went 2 overtimes. Texas went down early. They kept coming back, and in the game that Tom Penders probably is not going to be very pleased about. And we'll see what happens. We'll tell you if they ended up winning. Roderick Anderson drove, and Ty fouled up. He missed the foul shot. We go to overtime.
And there's a shot. Tommy Kleinschmidt, air ball, but 25 big points. He's just a solid player for the team.
He absolutely kept him in it. Brandy Harriman hits the 3 for Texas in overtime number 2. They come back for a big win. The final score in this game was 99-92. And Digger, I tell you, Texas, did they deserve to win this game?
No, they came out, didn't shoot well, didn't play well. Tommy Pender's a happy guy. Joey Meyer, a little tough loss on. Now they got to go back into their conference, the Great Midwest, and they've been struggling their own 4.
Western Carolina losing to the Gamecocks 90-68. The final score on that one, Frankie King.
26 biggie.
There you
the
go.
Gem, the hidden gem.
Points, 5 assists, and 4 steals. Wonder who the next gem will be. It's a guaranteed good performance anyway. St. Joe's out of the A-10 and GW. And GW is a winner, 75-65. LaSalle and Butler, a 2-point game all across the country. Great ones tonight.
Lehigh Valley Suzuki knows that winter weather and bad roads make driving tough. That's why we suggest a 1995 four-wheel drive four-door Suzuki Sidekick at Lehigh Valley Suzuki, starting at just $14,250. Power steering, AM/FM cassette, tilt wheel, and much more. Come in now. Don't get caught out in the snow, and don't pay more. Drive home a 1995 four-wheel drive four-door Suzuki Sidekick, $14,250, only at Lehigh Valley Suzuki, Lehigh Street Auto Mile.
Even as a kid, the Brass Rail was my favorite place to eat. It's nice to know the Brass Rail has the same good home-style cooking and reasonable prices I grew up with. And they've got a wide variety of beverages. We all have our favorite dishes. Our daughter's is the famous Phil's original steak sandwich. And my son, I think he likes the spaghetti as much as I did when my dad used to bring me here.
The Brass Rail has been part of my family for years. Why not make it part of yours?
The Brass Rail with 2 convenient locations.
Games getting underway. Back in the Delta Faucet halftime report. California and USC. Stanford at UCLA set to tip off in just a few minutes from now. Arizona State at Oregon State. Remember, Arizona goes to Oregon State next. We've shown you a highlight from Stoudemire. We'll keep you updated there. Jelani Gardner takes the ball down, finds Tony Gonzalez. Gonzalez puts it up, misses. Who's there? Tremaine Folks gets it up, gets it. He has 10 points early on. And California, though, leading this one 20-9. Folks is leading the way with 10. Both teams have won 2 of their last 7 games. They are struggling. Other WAC scores from this evening. UTEP by 2 over BYU in a close one. And Utah by 3 over New Mexico. That game has gone to the half. Colorado State by a deuce over Air Force. Weber State hammering Idaho. The score there, 40-19. Good ones coming up on Saturday on ESPN. We tip it off at noon Eastern. Out of the ACC, Carolina and Wake. Wake Forest playing very well. Then it's Clemson and NC State at 2 Eastern.
Another hotel room.
Let's trash it!
Wait! This don't look like an hotel room. It looks like me home.
I can see the old man now sitting with this pipe in front of the fire.
Well, look at this beautiful kitchen. You know, I can almost smell me mum's steak and kidney pie.
We could always say we trashed it.
Residence Inn by Marriott. The next best thing to home.
Science is best done in an interactive environment. You have to have this incredible curiosity, and you have to figure out how it works. You're not learning something that someone else has written down. You get to discover that. And the best time for a scientist is when you get a result that is exactly the opposite of what you thought was going to happen. Because in that brief moment of time, the whole world changes.
Glaxo, on the brink of discovery.
It's everybody working together that's going to beat the disease.
What am I doing here with you?
You're my brother. It's your genetic obligation to help me.
Right. So, with 150 horsepower standard, this Grand Am must really move.
Oh, the test driving was a blast. The handling, the power.
Well, that's why you get a Pontiac.
Anti-lock brakes are standard, and price-wise, the Camry and Accord can't touch the Grand Am.
Really?
Yep, I researched it.
Well, I'd say you know what you're doing.
Thank you.
So what am I doing here?
Helping me pick out a color.
Color? Yeah.
At Super Bowl I, a young quarterback named Elmer Brooker was on the sidelines. He did not play. At Super Bowl X, he was injured during the coin toss. Though he's never played, Elmer was on every winning Super Bowl team until he retired last year. To Elmer and armchair quarterbacks everywhere, Miller Lite says thanks for letting us play a part in the Super Bowl.
It feels weird not being there. Tell me about it.
ESPN's NCAA basketball, brought to you by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We are driving excitement.
We go to Eugene. Henry Madden for Oregon, taking it inside against Arizona. Don't forget, Damon Stoudemire guaranteed a victory for his Wildcats. Not necessarily the smartest thing to do, Digger.
Yeah, and the crowd's in it right now. That's going to be really tough for Arizona to get back in this one on the road.
Make a prediction on the road and against a top 20 team. We'll see what happens. We'll update you throughout the night. Now back to Bob and Larry in Madison.
All right, Carl, thank you very much. A tight, low-scoring ball game after 20 minutes. And the Nittany Lions on top by 3. And Larry Conley has promised, guaranteed, that he'll take another charge if Big House comes at the table.
I don't know. It may push you in front of me.
I wouldn't blame you one bit. Now, Penn State did end up shooting the ball pretty well in the first half. Let's talk about some of the big guys, though, because they were the focus of this ball game coming in. Penn State shot poorly early. They come back to shoot 48%. Wisconsin still waiting to warm things up. But what about those Big Ten big men?
Well, Griffith was 7 points, Amaechi was 7, and rebounding. Griffith was out most of that first half. He missed about 8 minutes, and then Amaechi with 4 rebounds, 2 blocks for Griffith. It's really the little guys have been doing the job. Let's take a look as the guards were shooting excellent from outside. Dan Earl, 2 of 3 from three-point land. He had 10 points in that first half. Andy Kilbride has 3 field goals, all of them on the outside of the arc. Kilbride also had 9 points in that first half. So the guards doing the number in this game, not the big guys.
Penn State 3-2 in the Big Ten. And they've got Purdue coming up at home on Saturday, so this is a big one for them. And Wisconsin could get right back in the race in the middle of the pack as well if they could get this one at home, because they've got Northwestern coming in here on Saturday. Those are the Penn State turnovers we talked about. They only average about 14 a game, and they're way up there already with the 11 at the half. Rashard Griffith has 7 points, just a couple of boards and 3 assists, and John Amaechi with 4 rebounds to go with his 7 points.
Bob, the Wisconsin ball movement was excellent in the first half. After they got warmed up, they actually had 9 assists on their 11 baskets. So the ball's been moving pretty well on the Badgers. They just need to show some better production other than that 35% shooting they had at halftime.
Penn State's only beaten Wisconsin 1 of the 4 times they've met in Big Ten play over the last 2 years. But that was right on this floor 2 years ago.
And folks, we promise you we're going to give you a full half.
Underneath, Amaechi. And then Sekunda the follow. And it appears that the official, Steve Wilmer, is pointing at Michael Finley. And that will be only his first.
So Sekunda had a nice first half. He had 8 points, and he had 2 of 3 three-point goals as Amaechi works on Griffith inside. Look at the left hand trying to go around. Sekunda right there, very opportunistic to step in and grab the ball, and you see the foul call. See the look on Griffith's face then? He thought he picked up number 3.
Glenn Sekunda with his 9th point. He's one of the guys who came to Penn State because they joined the Big Ten. Pete Lisicky, a freshman out of Whitehall, PA. Another. And really earlier than that, Dan Earl, who's their starting point guard, now a sophomore out of Medford Lakes, New Jersey. They're getting different kinds of players to come to State College now because of the league they play in. And Bruce Parkhill thinks they'll get better players when they open that new arena next year.
Penn State's gone to his own defense. They're matching up out of it. Amaechi's on one side in there. Rahsaan Carlton on the other side. They're trying to double him up in there to keep him from getting that ball.
Even in their man-to-man defense, Penn State considers themselves an anchor-in type defense. They don't get out around the perimeter that much. Some of the Wisconsin fans feel Finley was shielded from going after that ball. Here comes Howard Moore, the defensive specialist. Brian Kelley will take a seat.
Well, that was a fast substitution. Kelley getting an earful right now from Stan Van Gundy.
They love to play 92-foot defense when they've got Howard Moore in there. And a nice drive from the left side, and using the glass was Sekunda.
Boy, Sekunda make a great move inside. He saw Griffith, went straight at him. Now watch this play. Carlton with a nice pass. About 60 feet down the floor. Watch Sekunda go strong to the basket, get it up there before Griffith has a chance to get to the ball. Kilbride's going to get the foul, and Sekunda off to a quick start here in the second half. That's an interesting comment he had when he came over from Syracuse. He says, over here, these guys run a more structured offense. He says, at Syracuse, we used to run a couple of screens, and it was guys going one-on-one. He says, you get a lot more screens here at Penn State.
Finley wasn't ready for the pass of Kilbride. Here's Dan Earl on the transition. And a little dump in to Donovan Williams, and he has a half dozen.
Penn State starting off very strong in the second half. Wisconsin's going to take a timeout.
No 20s in this league. It's a long one. And it comes only a minute 17 in. Lions by 10.
Looking good. Facing with your car is a great idea.
Yeah, especially when it's my new Grand Am.
Well, you couldn't take my car. It doesn't have analog brakes or an airbag.
Or 150 horsepower. Your car couldn't keep up with me.
Man, this engine is really smooth.
What?
I said you're really starting to move.
Hey, where are you?
Alpha 1, this is Alpha 2. Enemy squad in open. Moving north on foot. Alpha.
Sergeant, here's the latest intelligence report.
I'll post it right away, Sergeant. Sir, enemy position is confirmed at Papa.
Step off.
Army Reserve, Montgomery GI Bill, skill training and more.
I was with my dad the other night. It got me thinking how times have changed. He had the same job for 30 years, big pension. His company really looked out for him. Nobody's looking out for me.
I had this same conversation a couple of years ago with my broker at Tane Weber. She was saying these days no pension plan would ever be enough. And if I didn't plan for myself, nobody else was going to.
So, that's what you've been doing, huh?
Yeah.
How'd she know what you needed?
She asked.
You have too much going for you. You have too much going for you to be thinking about missing school, quitting school, any of that stuff. I know, Mrs. Harvey. I know all about that stuff. I don't care about a job right now. If you don't have a degree out of high school, you are going nowhere. I don't want to hear it. No.
I'm going to graduate, though.
You will, but don't go helping him make decisions if he's not going to.
I didn't even know he was going to drop out. He never even told me.
Well, I don't want to hear it.
John Amaechi, a volunteer in the State College Second Mile program and the Big Brothers Big Sisters chapter, an outstanding student giving back to the community where he plays college basketball with a very strong message for some of the youngsters.
And Bob, he's a graduate student with a 3.4 GPA right now. This young man, I had a long conversation with him at the beginning of the game tonight just before they started, and I told him that work he's doing with those youngsters I think is as important as what he's doing on the floor right now. I commend him and really everything he does to help those young people.
Way out there, Darnell Hoskins coming off 3 great ball games, and he gets his first points of the night. He had 13 at Ohio State, 18 against Minnesota, 15 at Iowa, and did not score tonight until that shot. That gets 3 back in a hurry. Here's Sekunda, can't hit the reverse underneath, and sweeping bodies out of there with those elbows was Howard Moore.
Look at Hoskins' work. Good pass, and Griffith could not catch it.
That was right through the uprights of Rashard Griffith.
I think that counted for 3 if it was kicked.
9 turnovers by Wisconsin.
Barry Alvarez around here somewhere tonight, the football coach here in Wisconsin.
And at least for tonight, quelling the rumors that he was being considered for the Philadelphia Eagles job, calling a press conference earlier and saying, no, I'm withdrawing from consideration and staying right here, where they were the defending Rose Bowl champions until Penn State took care of things this year. Hoskins strong on the drive. Where'd he come from? We haven't heard anything from Darnell until the last 3 possessions.
How did he find his way through all that defense of Penn State?
Just a sophomore out of Dayton. Coming on strong for the Badgers. And from the left wing, Glenn Sekunda. And that's 16 for him.
Bob, he's already matched his first half point total. I don't know how you can allow a guy to stand out there that can shoot the ball that well from 3-point range. Wisconsin's got to do something with their defense to shut down Glenn Sekunda.
Michael Finley to the baseline, and Sekunda tipped it away. That's the one thing both coaches were worried about tonight, that one player on either team would light it up from outside and make it tougher to stay with those inside people.
Well, you know, Sekunda really was forced into playing the 4 position as the big forward this year because of a player by the name of Matt Gaudio, who had been playing at Penn State for a number of years, had a back operation. He's now an assistant coach over on the bench, and they forced him to go in there and play that position, even though he's a 3.
Dan Earl the tip. Donovan Williams all the way, and Kilbride had to foul him. And that'll be 2 quickies in this half, and 3 on Andy Kilbride.
Number 15, Andy Kilbride. That's his 3rd personal.
And Kilbride with 3 fouls will have to take a seat. Shawn Mason, a freshman out of Olympia Fields, Illinois, is in there.
Donovan Williams shooting 2.
Donovan Williams at the line. He's a senior who hasn't played that much over 3 years. Had a hamstring injury last year, ankle, finger. They're trying to get him a medical red shirt from 2 years ago when he was able to play just 6 games because of injury. And there's Matt Gaudio, 6'7" forward, had a good couple of years at Penn State, back surgery, a 9.4 rebound guy last year, and he just can't play anymore because of that back.
And they really forced Sekunda into that large or big forward position instead of playing small forward. Now Gaudio, an assistant coach over there, are helping Bruce Parkhill.
Biggest lead for the Nittany Lions as they move it out to a dozen. Griffith kicks it for Hoskins. Lots of time. Off to the right and crashing. Howard Moore.
Oh, did Moore get up? He even went over his own man. Rashard Griffith looked around and said, "Who is this guy?"
Down the floor, Donovan Williams manages to keep it for the Lions. 4 minutes gone, nearly in the second half. And it's Penn State by 10, but Wisconsin getting a spark a moment ago from Howard Moore. We'll see what they can turn it into.
There was Earl. He was hot in the first half.
Carlton wasn't. And he's got the high archer, 4-3, and he's got all 5 of his points since halftime.
That one came from the Wisconsin Dells.
Way up there.
Once again, Penn State back into that zone defense. Good movement by Wisconsin.
Mason way off with it. Rashard Griffith tried for a touch. And it'll belong to the Nittany Lions, who operate with a 13-point lead. Griffith has not scored in this half. Neither is Michael Finley. Stan Van Gundy, from a true basketball family. His brother Jeff's an assistant with Pat Riley in New York. His father Bill has been a head coach forever. At midcourt, hard work by Mason to get it back for Wisconsin. Almost lost it in the baseline. On top, and Hoskins says, "Hey, we've got 28 seconds on the shot clock. Let's work some offense."
Well, they got to settle down, get organized. Finley trying to operate in there, and he threw it away.
Into the fingertips of Rahsaan Carlton.
A bad pass. He just telegraphed it. He looked inside. He wanted to get it to Griffith. Couldn't do it. Threw it right to Carlton.
Earl on the wing for Sekunda.
Penn State is very patient on offense.
A little bit short with the long three, and Rashard Griffith. The outlet for Sean Mason. That's only his 3rd rebound of the night. He draws a triple team.
Yeah, they double down, they triple down. And another turnover.
Earl takes it away from Moore.
Wow, this is reminiscent of what happened in the first half.
Great look down to Amaechi, and Rashard Griffith had to foul him to prevent the slam, and that'll be his 3rd.
Good pass by Dan Earl, who's the number 3 leader in the Big Ten in assists. A good look inside, and Amaechi beat Griffith down the floor.
NCAA women's basketball coming up tomorrow at midnight, and we'll have a look at the Missouri Valley and their preseason player of the year, Becky Lynn of Creighton. The Blue Jays and Southwest Missouri State down there in Springfield, they love to get after it when other teams come in to visit. And by the way, the Wisconsin women's team currently leads the Big Ten in women's basketball.
Team fouls in the second half. Wisconsin with 4 already, and Penn State yet to force a foul, and Amaechi misses from the free throw line.
Played at Vandy in '91. Said he just didn't do much there except set screens. Didn't get to shoot much. Was looking for a place where he could assert himself offensively.
You know what he did? Used a computer to cross screens, decide which school he was going to pick when he transferred.
Well, he had the right program in mind, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did.
Combination of academics and athletics. Penn State backing in. Unable to knock it down was Shawn Daugherty. Playing sparingly. He's playing with that mask because of a broken nose suffered last week. Here's Carlton. He'll take him right to the baseline, but he can't finish. And the Badgers will run. They're down by 14, and they've been dead offensively for a while. Finley trying to awaken them, draws the foul on the drive.
But I really think Wisconsin needs to have Griffith in this lineup. I mean, he's got to get back in there and play because it is such a different club. Penn State goes very strong to the basket with Griffith out of there. And defensively, he really creates problems for Penn State because he's such a great shot blocker.
7 points, 3 boards, 3 assists tonight. There's the dump down to Daugherty. Can't get it over Sekunda. Now Amaechi helps out, and from nowhere, Donovan Williams reaches in for the steal. And he loses his balance and gives it up. Finley looking to go all the way. Draws the foul. Sekunda got it. He says, no, that should have been a jump ball.
Yeah, he did get a lot of ball, but he got a lot of arm, too. Again, Michael Finley trying to create something to help his basketball team. You know, he's been guilty of that. As we take a look at Bruce Parkhill on that Penn State bench. I said he's been guilty of trying to create things perhaps that aren't there. Right now, with Griffith out of this lineup, he really needs to do something offensively to lift this club as they're down by 14.
Big fellow watching. The star of the team looking a little anxious as he steps to the line. Way long with the free throw.
He's right at about 70% for the year.
Well, he shouldn't be tired. He averages 37 minutes a game. But right now, it's more concern. And he missed them both. Sekunda the rebound, and the Lions with the basketball. 14-point lead. 13:25 remaining. Sekunda also has 7 rebounds to go with his 16 points.
Good work by Hoskins getting through that screen by Sekunda.
Earl looking on top for Carlton, who flashes. Got Kelley off the floor. Did he travel? Yes, he did. 2 of the veteran officiating crew saw that one. Eric Harmon and Steve Wilmer all over the call. They're working with Jody Sylvester in this Big Ten game tonight in Madison. And the natives right here, who are normally very noisy, Larry, are very quiet and concerned at the moment.
Well, their club is down by 14. This usually does not happen in Madison. Again, Penn State right back into that matchup zone defense.
They've won 20, one of their last 24 here. 7-1 at home so far this season. Finley baseline right. Sekunda, good job to stop him.
Again, good help. Tough to penetrate that Penn State zone defense. They're shutting down the creation inside.
Kilbride. Finley there. Now he has scored in the second half.
That's the Michael Finley we know. Boy, did he ever get up in the air. Whew.
That's why some people have likened him at times to another guy named Michael. And there's the steal. Hoskins.
Now Wisconsin right back in. They're only down 10. Pressure. Defense. They need a turnover. They got it. Well, this is exactly what happened in the first half. Once again, as Michael Finley comes from the baseline. The miss by Kilbride. Now look at this. That's the way you get up in the air. Take care of it using both hands to get it down.
12-11 remaining. Badgers have shaved it to 10.
And remember, you're playing for Bloodline, ladies. The boys are back in town.
These guys are good.
Who are you calling guys?
Yeah.
Looks like you're in the finals. Ma'am, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
You're the defending ladies pool champion?
Yes, I am.
Before you ask what's under the hood, look in the trunk. Before you sit behind the wheel, climb in back. Before you take a new Avenger out and open it up, open it up.
You still make a great lasagna.
My son is making it now. I'll tell you, a while back, I didn't think there'd be a restaurant for him.
This place, it's always busy.
Well, that wasn't the problem. It was everything else. It was insurance and health plans. My guy at Penn helped me out with all that.
The stockbroker?
Yes, he even set us up with a 401k.
I guess he must really know how important this place is to your family.
Yeah. Because he took the time to ask.
Couple of top teams out of the Pac-10. The Bruins at home. High Sydney to Charles O'Bannon, who brings it down hard. 27-15 the score there. Meanwhile, the other game going on right now, Arizona up a deuce. Stoudemire with 12 over Oregon. Bob?
Well, it looks like talk's not cheap in that ball game at the moment.
Oregon having a pretty good year out there, Bob, in football and basketball.
Yeah, sort of the Wisconsin of the Pac-10. They've really stepped up this program. Barry Alvarez has done an outstanding job with the Gridiron guys who play next door at Camp Randall Stadium. We've got 12-11 to go here. 10-point game now. Badgers with it. Crucial Big Ten game for them. They want to get back to 500 before Northwestern comes in here on Saturday. Northwestern, a team that seldom ever wins a road game in this league.
Griffith back in the lineup. Immediately they go to him.
Yeah, it looked like Amaechi got a bit of a hand on that ball.
I think he got a little piece of that ball. I'll say one thing, Amaechi is not intimidated this time around like he was last year in the game at Penn State. Griffith pretty well straight up.
Comes out high, looks underneath. That's Greg Bartram who checked in at the timeout.
Sekunda trying to get the ball inside against Finley. Boy, he really set a screen.
Earl switches it. And Bartram can't hit it from the right side. The rebound there for Brian Kelley. His second board of the evening. There's another dump down to Griffith. Waiting and scoring, but he traveled.
Griffith really struggling off of the bench, misses one inside, then travels the second time he gets the ball inside. And again, Amaechi right there, the contestant. Watch. The walk? Yeah, that's a good call. He lifted that pivot foot.
Wisconsin foul number 15, Andy Kilbride.
And more bad news for Wisconsin. Kilbride gets his fourth foul. He's their three-point sniper, and that's with 11:18 to go. For Penn State, you saw Pete Lisicky check back in.
Kilbride had 9 in the first half. He'll afford to have him sitting on that bench, but he's going to be there for a while with those 4 fouls. Again, Wisconsin with that pressure. So far, Penn State's been able to handle it most of the time.
There's Lisicky. He leaves it out on top for Dan Earl.
1-4 alignment by Penn State. Watch the cuts across the lane. Sekunda trying to come in. Good pop out by Earl.
Bartram picking up his dribble. Earl way out there and well short with it. Following the shot, and that's Sekunda. Alert enough to dump it down to Bartram out on top. They've got a fresh 35 to work with. They use only 6 of it before the shot is launched by Bartram.
And really, Bartram, I thought, rushed that shot, Bob. He didn't need to put that up. He wasn't prepared to let that one go.
Not when you're up by 10 and a half to go, and you've got all the shot clock to work with. Finley lost the handle on the way up.
Bob, I think Amaechi got another one. He got a little bit of that ball as it went across the rim.
Sekunda from Earl. Now the dump inside to Amaechi, and he rolls it home.
Bob, that's a big basket for John Amaechi. He went in and just took it right to Griffith.
That's a one-man 4-point swing, Larry. Shot blocked to the other end, then he gets the 2. Kelley missing badly. Dan Earl the rebound. And Dan Earl's having a big night for Penn State. 10 points, 4 boards, and 6 assists.
Well, right now, the Nittany Lions having it their way. Sekunda trying to set the screen. Hoskins got through it. Nice work. Slide through, fight through it. Once again, good help by Finley.
And he's blocked by Hoskins. Penn State will have it back with 13 on the shot clock. And Howard Moore will check back in for the Badgers.
Watch again the youngster from Manchester, England, go against the Chicago street guy, and this time the foreigner wins it.
Shot clock down to 10 as we have a whistle. Uh-oh. That's away from the ball, and that's 4 on Griffith.
Watch again the battle inside of the big men. Amaechi and Griffith going at it. The foul goes to Griffith. They're saying he's holding him by the arm. Amaechi trying to get loose.
You know, remember what happened to Shaquille O'Neal in the SEC. Some felt the officials didn't let him play because he was so much bigger and stronger than everybody
Great
else.
Pass.
But the miss on the back door by Phil Williams. There's some Wisconsin's concern, Larry, that the Big Ten officials won't let Rashard play. They let him play that time.
I want to tell you what, that's a pretty courageous move on the baseline when you've got 4 fouls, and the guy that's guarding you is bellying up, weighing 270. He went right at him. He didn't blink at all. He went straight to the basket. Look at this move. I mean, that he could have gotten the 5th foul right there. Didn't get it. Got the basket instead.
Bruce Parkhill thought it was an offensive foul, didn't he? How can you not call that? We read the lips.
You're good at that. I couldn't have said that.
Well, it also helped because the place went silent. I could hear Bruce from the other end. Everybody in the place could hear it. And here's Osita Nwachukwu coming back in for Wisconsin.
Watch again the inside play. Now watch Griffith. He's got 4 fouls. Amaechi trying to stand his ground, and Griffith using his 270 to bull over the other 270.
Earl breaks the pressure. In the corner, Lisicky. And the rebound, running Shawn Mason, 3-on-2 to the right wing, and it is Howard Moore rolling it home.
Now Wisconsin in another run. Are they going to get a steal?
Yep. Yes. Shawn Mason. The senior Moore, the freshman Mason teaming up for tough defense.
Penn State not doing a good job of taking care of the basketball. When you got a 10-point lead, you're on the road. You got to be able to handle that pressure. Composure, very important.
A basket here, Larry, and it's a 5-point game, maybe 4. And it would not go from the wing for Finley, who's now 5 of 16 shooting tonight.
Let's see if they go back to Amaechi with Griffith out of the lineup. Now they go to a box alignment with Earl handling it out front.
Bartram for Lisicky in traffic, and Mason got him from behind.
Tell you what, you got to compliment this Penn State club for the way they run their offense. They're not getting a lot of half-court pressure. Wisconsin's coming at them with a lot of full-court pressure, but when they get into the half-court, Penn State is very good at running off of those screens. These guys shot pretty well in that first half.
When Sekunda is back, 16 points and 8 boards for him tonight. And that was Greg Bartram taking a seat at the line, the freshman, Pete Lisicky. Now here's another player that the Big Ten helped Penn State get.
Assistant coaches tell me that it really was an influencing factor in getting him to sign with Penn State. He was very highly recruited out of Whitehall, Pennsylvania.
UCLA wanted him, Villanova, Virginia. Howard Moore, the crowd pleaser.
They do like him here.
5th-year senior. Lisicky's got them both. That's 4 for him tonight. And the Nittany Lions have it back to 9 with 8.5 remaining.
Griffith back in that lineup with those 4 fouls.
Baseline left. And a block by Amaechi. He couldn't quite regain control. But going right at him was little Shawn Mason. Yeah, there was nothing there.
Yeah, there's nowhere you can go right there. If you're going to go in and attack that baseline with Amaechi standing there, when he comes, you've got to be able to drop the ball off to Griffith, who was wide open in the paint.
And you probably get a slam.
Good help inside again by Penn State. Good double down on the baseline.
Yeah, that's Finley's move. He loves to work on that baseline. Shot clock at 10.
Penn State showing good defensive help when that ball gets down below the block.
Here's Hoskins. Kicks it on the wing. Finley passed on the shot. Now he's got to shoot over Big House. And he gets it back. What a dive. And there's a blocking foul underneath. Osita Nwachukwu kept it alive. And it'll be a Sekunda foul on Penn State.
Well, this was very, very close. Griffith again flirting with that 5th foul. Sekunda is going to get it. He turns to Jody Sylvester and says, hey, I'm not sure. I just got hit by a guy 270, and I'm the one who's getting the foul.
Officials timeout. 7:51 to go. Griffith playing with 4 fouls. Kilbride on the bench with 4 fouls. Parkhill's Lions trying to hold on.
There's tennis. And there's tennis with an attitude at the Comcast U.S. Indoor. The best in the world. #1 ranked Pete Sampras. #2 Andre Agassi. defending champion Michael Chang and the Jensen brothers. It's tennis with an attitude. February 20th through the 26th. The Comcast U.S. Indoor, 1-800-995-BALL.
Tennis, anyone?
My job takes me to the outer fringes. I sell satellite dishes to people who can't get TV reception. I do about 250 miles a day. I sold to the Barlows and the Reynolds, gone 165,000 miles. People wonder how I get to them, so I show them my Saturn. So far, I've sold 2,000 dishes and 6 Saturns. Who knows who I'll sell to next?
In the end, it all comes down to one great play. That single decisive moment when the incredible becomes reality. Now it's time to choose the best of the greatest. The ESPY Award, given in recognition of exceptional performance. Tune into SportsCenter or hook up with ESPN Net on Prodigy to cast your vote for the outstanding plays and performances of 1994. The ESPY Awards, presented by General Motors and MasterCard. This time, you make the call.
A pride of Lions continuing to hang on here in Madison, Wisconsin. We're going to show you 2 angles of this play by Griffith. See Sekunda go down. Now, that's one from the top. I want you to watch the lower part of this. Look at the right arm right here of Rashard Griffith. Sekunda was nowhere near him, and he got the blocking call, and there's the hold. Sekunda laughing about it, but you know what? I think that play should have gone the other way, and that would have been the 5th foul on Rashard Griffith.
Instead, he's still around. 7:51 to go. Wisconsin with the basketball, down by 9. Hoskins open on the left wing. Mason swings it for Finley. Griffith draws 2 or 3 opponents every time. Finley, a little bit out of control, but he kept it alive.
Finley's a battler. Even on his own missed shots, he goes and gets them.
He's got 8 boards.
In the zone defense by Penn State.
There's Griffith again. A little too hard on him.
That's going to be it. He got him that time.
He was swatting the ball away, and it appears Griffith has fouled out with 7:21 to go.
I tell you what, he was flirting with that 5th foul for the last 5 minutes. Watch again. He gets it inside. This is a foul of frustration. It's a good, strong move to the basket. Amaechi's there, but there's the foul. He really did get him. Good call.
10 points, 4 rebounds, and Rashard Griffith done for the night.
Shawn Daugherty checks into the Wisconsin lineup, replacing Rashard.
Tell you what, when you've got those 4 fouls and you're the postman for this club and really the strength of this team on the inside, you got to find a way to stay in there. Griffith now is going to have to watch the final 7:21 from the chairs.
Shawn Daugherty, 6'10" freshman out of Vincennes, Indiana, has checked in to replace Rashard Griffith. And now what a different ball game this becomes for John Amaechi. That's his 11th point of the night. And suddenly his huge opponent is gone. Griffith's 10 points tonight, his 2nd lowest total of the season. He had only 4 rebounds. He came in averaging 13 in conference play.
Let's just see if Penn State changes defenses here. They've gone with that zone defense to shut down Griffith on the inside. With him out of the lineup, though, they're going to still stay with that zone defense.
Finley becomes so important for the Badgers now. Swings it to the corner. Gets it back on top. Drives, 3 bodies in there, and he does draw the blocking foul.
The Penn State foul.
Looks like it's on Pete Lisicky. That'll be his 2nd. Excuse me, his 3rd.
Once again, Finley trying to create something. Took it into a group of Lions standing right about the paint area. Didn't have anywhere to go with it. He was lucky he got the foul.
Wisconsin 0 for the last 5 from the floor. They've got to start hitting. They didn't shoot very well in the first half.
There he goes. Good move. Can't finish. Got it back.
Nwachukwu underneath. And finally down with it is Sekunda, who's having a huge night for Penn State. That's his 9th rebound. He's heading for a double-double.
Tough break for Finley. He really had a nice baseline move there. Just couldn't finish. Once again, Penn State into that half-court offense.
Earl. Amaechi sealed off his man. And that's 14 for him.
Nwachukwu really never had a chance. Amaechi just turned and went strong to the basket. Good seal.
13-point lead.
Wisconsin has missed their last 8 field goal attempts.
They sent short with it. And there's Sekunda's double-double. His 10th rebound to go with 16 points.
Badgers have gone ice cold, Bob. They cannot buy one right now. Bruce Parkhill knows that. He's going to be very patient with his basketball in this final 5:45.
They are 18 for 56 from the floor tonight. Lisicky couldn't knock it down. Williams can, and a foul.
Oh, Penn State coming back. Griffith goes out of the lineup, and Penn State just picks it up. Watch again as Williams goes down underneath. Phil Williams with a good, strong move. Gets it up, gets the roll. Big house, 265. He got the table in the first half. Gets the basket in the second.
Daugherty the foul. That'll be his first. Yeah, you can see now why they call him Big House, but he has another nickname, Larry. I think I'll let you call him Sweet Pea.
I like Big House better.
Can't push home the three-point play, but it's now a 15-point lead for Penn State in the final 5.5 minutes.
You know that defense is going to be concentrating on Finley. Might open it up for some others like Kelley.
That's his first scoring of the night. Earl clearing the timeline. Here's where he becomes a very important man for Penn State, handling it. He's not flashy, not that exciting. All Dan Earl does is take care of the ball. Well, he's got a 2.5 to 1 assist to turnover ratio.
Yeah, he and McKnight really handle the basketball out front for Penn State. And right now, Bruce Parkhill feels more comfortable with the sophomore handling it. Well, this would be a big win for Bruce Parkhill. How about a club that loses 3 games, by 6 to Texas Tech, 2 to Minnesota, and 2 to Indiana? A total of 10 points in their losses. They're 11-3, or 3 losses. They're 11-3 right now.
There's Lisicky working off the pick.
Can he shoot it? Can he shoot it?
1,974 points in Whitehall, PA. And their biggest lead again. Now it's up to 15. Wisconsin broke a 3.5-minute drought a moment ago with a basket, and Finley now has 17, but he only has 4 points since halftime.
Lisicky almost in trouble, got it to Sekunda. Kelley no match out there. Sekunda a good handler of the ball.
Finley nearly stealing it at midcourt.
Once again, you're going to see Penn State pull the ball back out, run their half-court offense. Right now, Hoskins got to put some pressure on Earl out front.
Earl driving baseline left, and he goes all the way.
You know, he's done that to Hoskins about 3 times tonight. Went right by him again.
12 for him. Every time Finley looks up, he's got all kinds of navy blue in front of him. Kilbride back in there, well off with the 3. He's been out of there since there were 11 minutes and 18 seconds remaining. So about 7.5 minutes. Then he comes on and tries to hit the 3.
This game is really moving the direction right now of the Nittany Lions. Wisconsin struggling from the field. Their second half shooting has been terrible. With Griffith out of that lineup, they have no inside threat, and everybody concentrating their defense for Penn State on Michael Finley.
Sekunda high post. 9 on the shot clock. Right perimeter. Lisicky can't hit it. Phil Williams has it, and as he goes up, they thought that Coleman stood him straight up. That's Booker Coleman, a freshman out of Erie, PA, who checked in.
That's a pretty good tandem that Penn State's got in there with Phil Williams on one side of the basket and Amaechi on the other side. What do you got? 270 and 265 on either side there.
Big house and the big brick. And some of the folks here are heading for home. You don't see this very often with the UW Fieldhouse starting to empty a bit.
Bob, I got to tell you, as we take a look at the free throws, John Amaechi just looked over at me and gave me the okay sign. He says, "We're going to play well tonight." They have. Nittany Lions have played extremely well away from home tonight. It's going to be a big win for them.
I thought maybe he was saying ta-ta to some of these fans. 16-point lead. Make it 17. And the Badgers at home are in big trouble with just 3:17 remaining.
Red Dog here. Look at him. Making fools of themselves. And for what? A pat on the head and a dog biscuit?
What do you think of that?
You got a mind of your own.
Oh.
Know what I'm saying? Do what's right for you. Hey, buddy, nothing personal.
Red Dog beer. Bold yet smooth. Easy to drink.
But I don't jump through hoops for nobody.
With the only V8 offered in its class, Dakota Club Cab has more. More horsepower. More maximum payload. More room inside. 15 cubic feet more than Ford Ranger or Chevy S10. Oh yeah, and it also tows more. Dakota Club Cab. A little bigger, a lot better. At America's Truck Stop, the new Dodge.
At this rate, we'll never get to the Super Bowl.
No kidding, mister. We can make it 30 miles on E.
Sure can go for a 95-cent Big Mac.
I hear you, man.
12-beef patties, special sauce.
That's enough, Mr. Make Me Drool. Come on, you're killing me, man.
Break in 95 with McDonald's 95-cent Big Mac. A two-fisted Big Mac or toasty egg McMuffin for just 95 cents, but only for a limited time, so hurry.
Talking about McDonald's is not going to get us to this exit any quicker. Follow that Big Mac!
You're under a buck truck chaser.
Sports Center immediately follows the game. The Magic and the Bulls without Scotty. Find out how long he's going to be missing. The Bruins and Devils, a glove save and a beauty, go to overtime. And we go live to Miami for a preview of Super Bowl 29. Sports Center after the game.
Thank you, Carl. And we're after that big double OT game where Texas finally came from behind to beat DePaul at home tonight, 99-92. Bob Carpenter, Larry Conley, and an off night in Madison for Michael Finley.
Bob, he's been averaging about 18 shots a game, and he's got 20 tonight. And again, trying to carry the load for this Wisconsin club. Gave it up again right there.
Penn State came into this game tied with Marquette with the best field goal defense in the country at 37%. Tonight, only 34% for the Badgers, 20 of 59.
You know, both of these clubs are very good on field goal percentage defense, both from the field beyond the arc and inside the arc. In fact, they rank 1 and 2 in that category. There's Rashard Griffith. Disappointing night for that young man. I know he would have liked to play a lot better, particularly against the other big center in this Big Ten, what I call legitimate centers. A lot of good big forwards and guys that play center in the Big Ten, but not like these two guys play it. These two fellows are true centers.
Donovan Williams at the line after a Sean Mason foul. Yeah, playing with 3 fouls. They want Amaechi to stay around for the rest of the night, so he'll stand down at the other end during the free throws. A special edition NFL Prime Monday, Saturday at 8 Eastern. Mike Tirico, Ron Jaworski, Joe Theismann, Phil Simms, quarterbacks all over the place. An in-depth look at the Super Bowl matchup, Saturday, 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. So Tirico surrounds himself with outstanding signal callers.
Tirico's going to be doing a lot of receiving, I think, in that game. Or it won't be balls, it'll be a lot of words.
Maybe he'll be doing the handing off.
Your attention, please. Do not throw anything on the floor.
Evidently something was thrown on the floor from a disgruntled fan. And the second free throw by Donovan Williams coming up. Penn State outstanding for the line tonight. 17 out of 21 with that miss. That's in the 80% range. Kilbride on the wing for Hoskins. Where's Michael, everybody's wondering. Hoskins works through a lot of traffic, and as he flashed by Donovan Williams and Amaechi, he drew the foul. It'll be Donovan Williams with his second.
the 6th team foul.
Yeah, Bob, this win is going to give Penn State a 4-2 record. It'll tie them with Illinois and Purdue for 3rd place. I'll tell you right now, Michigan State at 5-1, the only club with 1 loss. Everybody else right there bunched together with 2 and 3 losses.
And of course, the Big Ten regular season more important than it is in any other league in the nation because there's no postseason tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
Darnell Hoskins at the line. That's 8 for him tonight. Backed up Tracy Webster, the outstanding point guard that Wisconsin had a year ago. Getting a lot more minutes, but a little inconsistent tonight at least. Sekunda now with 11 rebounds after that last grab. They're trying to trap at midcourt. Lisicky throws it away. Even Big House couldn't get up enough stories to grab that one.
You know, Bruce Parkhill's going to make a change right here. He wants Lisicky to come over there. He wants to give him some instruction on something he wants to do on that press when you get a double team. Now watch him walk over here. He's going to walk down to the end of that bench. He's going to have a conversation with him. He's going to say, now let me tell you what you did wrong.
Freshman out, senior in, Greg Bartram. Finley open on the left wing. Can't drill the 3. Bartram a touch, and the Badgers will keep it with 2:20 remaining.
Oh, how good is this Penn State club? This is their best record at season's midpoint since 1965-66.
Every time you look up, Wisconsin on another cold streak. Now they've missed their last 6 3-pointers because of this great field goal defense. Nothing you can do to stop Finley on that move. That'll be 19 for him with a chance for the 3-point play.
I think Sekunda picked up another foul. Watch Michael Finley. He's trying to do it all by himself here. Nobody doing anything. No cuts. So he just takes it strong to the basket. Sekunda says, wait a minute. What are you calling that on me for?
His 3rd. Finley has 20. 14-point game as we move down toward 2 minutes. Bartram in the backcourt. Switches it for Phil Williams.
Sekunda handles the ball really well out there.
There's the steal. Kilbride forced it. Finley all the way. 22 for him. It's a 12-point game in the last 2 minutes. Bartram trying not to pick up that dribble too soon. And he drew a foul on Darnell Hoskins.
Bob, you make a great point. When you're getting double teamed like that, you've got to keep your dribble alive as much as you can. You know you got 2 guys converging on you. Somebody's got to be open. Fight your way through that double team and look up and see who it is.
To the line, Greg Bartram. Sports Center coming up next on ESPN. Bulls and Magic dueling tonight. Down to Miami for more Super Bowl coverage and an update on the Simpson trial. We'll recess until early next week. And Bartram has his first point of the night. 13-point game with 1:40 remaining. Badgers need some threes in a hurry. Here's a guy who can get one.
Yeah, but look at that pressure defense out front. Earl trying to get out front. Good defensive work there.
Yeah, they let Hoskins in to shoot the 2. Possession arrow on the jump ball belongs to the home team. 90 seconds remaining. Wisconsin really wanted to win this one because this started a stretch of 4 of the next 5 on their home floor. Had a chance to get them back to the 500 mark at home.
Bob, the 2 losses Penn State has experienced this year, 2 points to Indiana and 2 points to Minnesota. I think that 6-point loss in that tournament out in Arizona. The Line Club has played very, very well.
Amaechi in the backcourt. Breaks the pressure, throws it past Bartram.
That's what drives you crazy. Bruce Parkhill's going nuts over there. He says, why are you throwing it away? Take care of the basketball. You got to have some composure. Ball management. How important is it?
20 turnovers by the Lions. But they lead by 13. And they'll let Hoskins come in there all night. They just don't want to give up three-point shots. And Sekunda just got a tee. And that's a personal. Wow. Completely losing his head there was the junior Glenn Sekunda.
So they're going to get 2 free throws, 2 more on the technical, and get the ball.
That's his 4th personal.
And then the tee.
Against Glenn Sekunda. That's his 5th.
He got him on the arm. It was a proper call. He got ball, but he also got the arm. He turned around and kicked that brace underneath. And that's what got him the tee.
Which is also a personal, which fouls him out. He'll leave with 1:03 remaining. 16 points, 11 rebounds. A great double-double for Sekunda, who's had some big games this year. 26 against Vandy, 23 at Ohio State.
He gave that brace a pretty good rap. He can kick as good forward as he does backward. The Paterno maybe could use him.
Yeah, it's still shaking so much, Hoskins can't put the ball in the hole. He's now 2 out of 4 from the line. 9 points for Darnell, all in the second half. So it's a 12-point game, 1:03 to go.
And now Kilbride will stand up and shoot the technicals.
Technical free throw.
Kilbride is a 62% free throw shooter, surprisingly low. Kilbride, only his first point of the second half, 10 for the night.
It's not a very good free throw shooting club, Wisconsin. Obviously, they're shooting 61% as a team.
58% at home. Yeah, now that's a shocker. But it's a 10-point game.
Now the Badgers get it out of bounds on the side. So they got 3 of the 4 free throws. Let's see what they can do from here on.
Bruce Parkhill just looked up after a long stare at Glenn Sekunda, who's got to be the most nervous man in the building right now. And there's the score for Finley. He's got 24, and Wisconsin calls the timeout. Unbelievably, it's an 8-point game.
With the only V8 offered in its class, Dakota Club Cab has more. More horsepower. More maximum payload. More room inside. 15 cubic feet more than Ford Ranger or Chevy S10. Oh yeah, and it also tows more. Dakota Club Cab. A little bigger, a lot better. At America's Truck Stop, the new Dodge.
One fall, we took out our son's favorite sweater and it didn't fit anymore. I think life insurance is like that. You don't realize how much your life has changed until you take out your policies and sit down with your agent. That's why we have the State Farm Family Insurance Checkup. I can help you see if your coverages are up to date, or if you've outgrown them. Then you make the decision. A policy has to fit, just like a sweater.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
ESPN's NCAA basketball, brought to you by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. By Dodge. The more things change, the more things look like the new Dodge. And by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Glenn Sekunda awfully nervous right now. 11-1, the Wisconsin run over the last 2 minutes. They set up full court pressure.
Watch the run out. Earl got it.
They want it in his hands.
They want the foul. Want the foul.
They don't get it. Bartram clears it over the timeline for Rahsaan Carlton. And he's fouled by Darnell Hoskins.
Well, it's one guy you want to put at the line, and you're happy if you're Bruce Parkhill. This guy's shooting about 79%.
9 seconds that took. 9.5 seconds exactly.
52, Shawn Daugherty.
Shawn Daugherty will check back in for Wisconsin. A reminder, SportsCenter is coming up next with some great NBA highlights to look at tonight. More previews of Super Bowl 29 with our crew, many of them down in Miami. Keith Olbermann, Gary Miller standing by. Rahsaan Carlton with 6 second-half points tonight. Penn State once led by 18 just a couple minutes ago. And those are clutch free throws from the junior out of Harrisburg. 10-point spread. Finley, that's a 3. He's got 27. Williams in the backcourt. And they picked the right guy to foul as Howard Moore got it.
That's very important for Penn State to put the people up front to receive the basketball that they're good free throw shooters. This is not the guy you want going to the line for you if you're a Nittany Lion.
Williams at 70%, but coming into the game, he'd only shot about 23 free throws the entire season. He's 3 of 5 tonight.
Struggling from the line, now 3 of 6.
And Larry, even if he makes this one now, it stays a 3-possession game.
That's a big one. That's a big one right there.
It'll take 3 threes to beat him. Lisicky checks back in. Phil Williams with 6 points. 5 of those since halftime. Takes a seat. Hoskins down the floor.
Nice switch by Amaechi. Just got to guard the 3. They can get inside the arc. Finley's going to release it.
Way out there. Only way that one would have gone is if it would have banked. And Lisicky grabs it, draws the foul, and that might just about do it. As Penn State will have some anxious moments here late, but be in a position to grab a big road win. Anytime you win on the road in this league, you've done something.
Going to push their record up there to 12-3 too. There's Rashard Griffith. Despair, despondency, disappointment.
He didn't play much tonight. Went out early with 2 fouls, 2.5 minutes into the game. Eventually fouled out with 7 minutes and 21 seconds remaining.
You know, Bob, when he went to the bench with that 5th foul, there were 3 or 4 occasions there where he really got very close to having that 5th foul called against him before he actually got the whistle.
And Lisicky gives Penn State a 9-point lead.
Guard the arc.
Hoskins for Finley. Almost lost the ball on the dribble. Lisicky boxes him out, and he'll draw another foul. It'll be Finley again. That'll be his 3rd. We've got a large Big Monday coming your way, presented by Bud Light at 7:30. Number 6 Syracuse visiting number 14 Georgetown. Moton, Wallace, Iverson, some of the big names in that one. And then a top 20 clash in the Big 8. Tigers of Missouri, and it's tough to win at Ames against those Cyclones. Following Sports Center to the Big West we go. UNLV at Long Beach State. Big Monday presented by Bud Light coming your way after the weekend.
How about the job Tim Floyd has done at Iowa State? Coming up from the University of New Orleans to take over a club. He's got an experienced team. Well, they are playing about as well as anybody in that Big 8 right now. But Norm Stewart always finds a way, huh?
The crafty veteran of the Tigers knows what it takes to win on the road. And Bruce Parkhill and his Lions learn a little bit more about that here tonight. There's Hoskins missing the 3. Kilbride the tap. And evidently he was fouled by Greg Bartram.
The Penn State foul on number 22, Greg Bartram.
Well, obviously Bruce Parkhill doesn't agree with that call.
At the line, Andy Kilbride, shooting 2.
Andy Kilbride for a couple.
The Wisconsin team is going to lose their 6th in their last 8 games. So things not going well right now for the Badgers.
9-point spread, final 5 seconds. Big win for Penn State on the road. And there's the exclamation point from John Amaechi. He'll finish the night with 16 points and 6 rebounds. And Penn State steals one here in Madison, 78-67.
And again, Penn State getting the job done. Good work by Sekunda. He had 16 points, even though he goes to the bench with his technical foul. But Griffith on the bench really hurt them.
Sports Center coming up next on ESPN. And Penn State with the win goes 4-2 in the Big Ten, 78-67. For Larry Conley, Bob Carpenter, hope you enjoyed the doubleheader. Good night from Big Ten country.